Drop your heels. How many times have you heard those three words as a mountain biker? YouTube, skills videos, Instagram, maybe even a magazine if you're as old as I am. And yes, it's true. Ideally, we want to be able to drop our heels behind those pedal axles to push through terrain, for braking, to load up the bike. And it's one of the foundations of a good riding position. But what if you can't drop your heels? What if it doesn't feel good or they just don't go? That is what this video is for, because I'm going to tell you how to unlock those ankles to improve your mountain biking. And like that, we've gone from the trails and we're now in the gym, and this is where we're going to work today. So first of all, do you actually have tight ankles? We're going to start off by assessing them, and all you're going to need is a wall and a tape measure or a ruler. What we're going to do now is called a knee to wall test, and it's going to test basically how far forwards my knee can travel over my toes, and this measures ankle dorsiflexion, which is the type of ankle flexibility and mobility that we need on the bike and also in life. So I use a wall or maybe a box in the gym. Get yourself perpendicular, square on, heel on the floor, and I'm going to slide the knee forward so it gently touches the wall. When it's on the wall, the knee should be over the big toe and the heel should be on the floor. If you can do that, move back a bit, just a centimetre or two. That's an inch if you're over the pond. And we're going to go again. And what I'm looking for is the maximum distance that I can keep everything straight, lined up, heel on the floor, and touch the wall. So that feels about the max. If I go a bit further now, look at this, look closely. The heel lifts if I go there, so that's too far. So go back again, and then I push into it, and that's me there. I'm going to take my measure, okay, and for me there, that is 13.5 centimetres, and that's good ankle mobility. The threshold that I work to is 10 centimetres, okay? That's what I try to get everybody to. Quick disclaimer, the advice in this video is not meant to replace a medical diagnosis. If you've rolled your ankle, you've broken your ankle, there's lots of scar tissue in there, or you've got a fat ankle, then this video is not for you. You need to go and see your doctor, physiotherapist, or sports therapist to get some personalised advice to help you improve your ankle health and mobility. So you've done your ankle mobility assessment, you've got your measurement, okay, and we're now going to split this into two parts. We're going to start with a little pre-ride warm-up and how you can get a little bit more mobility out of your ankles before you ride, and then we're going to be effectively back in the gym to do some proper work to really improve that in the long term. So if your ankle mobility is just a little bit off, then we can actually just try and improve it a bit before we ride each time. Try and loosen it off after a long week at work. And the first one we can do is super simple. Just call it a curb stretch, okay? You've just got out the car, you're going for a ride, or you're going out the front door, you use the front step, and there you go, nice and simple. Pull with a foot on the curb or on a weight plate or whatever you've got. And we're going to start off with a straight leg on both sides, and we're just going to have a nice stretch, 30 seconds on each leg, on a straight leg. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do that again, but let's do it on a bent knee as well. So I'm going to bend the knee, push the knee forwards, and this will feel a bit different. The first one you probably feel a lot more at the back of your leg. The second one now, as I push forwards, you may feel more in the joint of the ankle. And again, let's just hold that for 30 seconds on each side. So we're really pushing to the limits of your flexibility in the ankle there. So there you go. So what we've done there is we've hopefully unlocking a little bit more movement through a very simple stretch. Now what we want to do is we want it to be switched on so that when you're riding, you can access that movement on the pedal. So let's just wake up the lower leg and make it all feel good just with a few calf raises. So keep the knee a little bit bent, go as high as you can and as low as you can. Okay, you're going to want to hold on to something. Okay, and what I want to do is get deep into a stretch each time and go as high as I can each time, keeping the knee bent, okay? And that way we're not just stretching it, but we're getting it kind of activated and woken up. So your lower leg is on, and now when you then get on the bike and drop your heels on the pedal, your lower leg is like, okay, I can do this, you know? I'm switched on, I've got a little extra mobility, my muscles are warm, let's go. And it may then help you to drop your heels on the bike. So we're going away from riding now, and we're back in the gym or at home or wherever you like to do some training and mobility. let's say you've got 5, 6, 7 centimeters on the ankle measurement there, we need to make some changes, and this is going to need a little and often approach. So each time you strength train, you need to add some ankle mobility to the start of the session, and then during the strength training session, you should try and expose your ankle to a full range of motion. So make it go as far as it can, is what it means, during the session by doing the exercises that you're doing. So what we're going to start with now is a couple of ankle mobility drills. The first one you can do is a simple curb stretch that I showed you at the start. You can do that at the start of a training session as part of your warm-up. That is cool. But what if we want to really make a difference to it? There's two things that are really effective. The first one is basically a knee forward ankle stretch, but we're just going to add that little bit of weight here. So I'm on one knee like I'm going to propose, just like we did on the test on the wall, and I'm going to keep everything lined up straight, and I'm going to slide the knee forwards there with this weight on my knee, okay? Now, as I do that, I want to keep this front heel on the floor, okay? And I want to keep this lined up. It's really tempting to get it all a bit wonky. We don't want that. So nicely lined up, push forwards and hold. You might get a nice hip stretch as well. But let's try and hold that. Let's go 20, 30 seconds. I've got 12 kilos there. 10 or 12 kilos is going to be absolutely fine to get started. You don't need a massive weight. And obviously we're going to do that on both sides. If you have found this video useful, then make sure you subscribe to MTB Momentum. It's my weekly email newsletters just for mountain bikers, and it's basically all about helping you to be a better rider. Every Tuesday in your inbox, it's going to take 2 or 3 minutes to read. Straight talking, simple, effective advice, what's not to like. I guarantee it's going to be the best email you get on a Tuesday. If you find that there's a real block or a pinch at the front, okay, then you may then want to also use this second exercise. Now, this is called a banded ankle distraction, which is a bit of a mouthful, but what we're going to do is we're going to take a medium to heavy band, and it needs to be lashed onto somewhere solid. So in this case, a squat rack. And what I'm going to do, again, half kneeling, I'm going to raise up that front foot, and then I'm going to get the band just on the top of the foot. So I've got effectively my ankle joint here, okay? I want it on the top of the foot. I don't want it across the joint. And what it's doing is sliding the foot backwards to then help as I push forwards here. It's going to really allow my ankle to slide, like the surfaces slide over each other, and let me push that knee forwards here. And again, 20 to 30 seconds on each side. It shouldn't hurt. It may feel a little tight. You may feel a stretch in the Achilles. That's fine. And we're going to hold that there and then release it. And you can see there's a bit of tension on there, okay? So we've added some extra ankle mobility to the warm-up. And now what we want to think about is, you know, as part of your normal strength training, can we expose the ankle and the lower leg to that full range of motion? So for instance, when I'm squatting, okay, see I'm in this deep goblet squat. Look at that here. My knee is right over. It's about 10 centimeters out in front of my toes here in that deep squat. And look, if your ankles are super tight at the moment, then you're not going to be able to do that. But what we need to do is squat down to the limit of what you're capable of. And it may be there, okay? Now, like we did pre-ride, we also want to get some strength work in the ankle and lower leg. We don't want all that range of motion and no strength, okay? So that is flexibility, which is the ability to go there. But what we want is mobility, which is where you're strong in those positions. There's no point having your ankles dropped behind the pedal axle if your lower leg is very weak. So we're going to strengthen that, real simple, with some calf raises. Okay, so ideally, let's start off by aiming for 15 on each leg, on a single leg, okay, from a full range. So a big stretch at the bottom and as high as you can at the top. And look how the knee stays bent the whole time. You'll see a lot of people do this and they straighten up, and that's incorrect. We don't want that. I want the knee bent or knee forwards the whole time. Once you can do that, just like any exercise, we want to progress it, okay? And so then you can do 15 on each leg, single leg, no worries. Now, let's take a dumbbell, okay, and start building it up like that. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you can start applying these strategies to unlock the ankles and start improving your riding. Check out the description below for a load of useful links for training programs, my mailing list, which you need to get yourself on. Every Tuesday, I'm going to send you the best email on your Tuesday, basically. That's a promise. And yeah, I'll be back soon for more mountain biking, strength, training, fitness, all that good stuff.